Srixon have just released their new game improvement and player's distance iron, the ZXi4 and the ZXi5. And I've got them both in my hands today, and as an average swing speed mid-handicap golfer, I'm going to put them head to head through their paces to hopefully help you, the golfer, down the lens, work out which one of these irons could be the right one for you. Let's get stuck in. Right, before we start hitting shots, I just want to tell you a little bit about the looks of both of these irons when you put them side by side next to each other. The first thing to call out is they are incredibly similar, and that is deliberate by Srixon. They want their irons to be capable of combo setting this year, so you could play a mixture of both of these irons, or for the better player, you might play the ZXi5 with the ZXi7. But in terms of looks when they're down at address, you could be mistaken for thinking that the ZXi4, the game improvement iron, is maybe just like the next iron in the set, like a 6 iron that's got a little bit more of a thicker top line and a little bit more forgiveness. Now I'm sure when I check the data specification, the amount of offset on both of these irons is exactly the same or very, very identical as you move through the bag. And again, that's also to help you with that combo setting idea. Blade lengths to me look very, very similar. The actual faces themselves also look very similar. And when you turn the irons over and look at them in the back, yes, the badge detailing is a little bit different, but on first glance from more than a couple of inches away, again, they look very, very similar. The one thing that really did stand out to me when I got them out of the drawer today to look at them for the first time was the sole design of both of these irons. It really does feel like the sole, which is quite chunky and wide on both of these irons. It feels like it's almost in two parts with like a V shape to it, rather than that more traditional sort of rounded sole that I see on a lot of irons these days. It definitely does feel like there is a definite V to it and like a point in it, which again is designed to help with that ground interaction, which again we'll try and test if we hit some fat and thin today. Obviously off the mat it's not going to be the same as the grass, but we'll just see what level of forgiveness and consistency we get when we don't hit it that clean. But yeah, very, very similar looking irons, both absolutely stunning, will appeal to a lot of golfers because they're quite traditional in their design. Now it's time for us to hit some shots and see if they differentiate themselves a little bit more in terms of their performance. Right, so let's start by hitting some shots with the ZXi5 first. Down at address, really confidence inspiring straight away. Looks like a very nice golf club. Really keen to see how the feel of these are. I play Mizuno and I've hit a few for benchmarking purposes tonight just to help me understand where my club head speed and numbers are. And coming from that to Srixon, which, with this new iForge technology that claims to have improved feel, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Right, first shot. It's launched incredibly high. I've just turned it over slightly. That's my miss all the time if you watch me on the channel quite a lot, but it's launched incredibly high straight out of the gate. Carried at 156.4, which is a really nice number for me based on club head speed at 81. Definitely feel like my club head speed's gone up a couple of miles an hour in the last few weeks, and that's definitely on the higher end and similar to what I was getting out of my own iron tonight. But 92 feet of peak height, you'll see if you watch my channel, once we get above 80 feet, I'm normally very, very happy. And to see 4,700 of spin, some really good numbers to start with. That's beauty again. Really nice. A little bit faster on my part there at 81.8 mile an hour. 100 feet of peak height. It's so high. Spinning at 4,500, but look at that carry number, 164 of carry. I've hit it right out the middle, and that's why we've got so much ball speed out of it at 112.6. That's as fast a ball speed as I've ever seen, I think, for me hitting an iron in this place. Admittedly, again, my club head speed is up, but landing at 48.1 degrees, it's going to stop so quickly. It's a really strong start in terms of a set of numbers from these two irons. Very, very impressed. First one I've hit dead straight. I think that one was a little bit out the toe. It'll be interesting to see what the impact location says on it. We might have lost a few yards that time. No, it was a really good middle strike, so that was just a misunderstanding on my part. Definitely was a touch heavy, which is why the strike's gone up the face a little bit. But still, carried 155, spinning at 4.2. We lost a little bit of spin from that slightly heavier strike, but that's still really good spin for me on a heavy strike, and it still got out there at 98 feet and 48 degrees of land angle. Seriously impressive numbers out of this iron. First time hitting a Srixon, very, very impressed. Now that I'm a handful of shots in, I wanted to hit maybe 3 or 4 shots before I sort of came onto this, but one of the big things in the technology that Srixon talk about is this iForge technology that they've used in the construction of these irons to try and improve the feel. And Srixon over the last few years have had an amazing reputation for maybe even taking over from Mizuno in terms of being the best feeling irons. first impressions here, and maybe I just didn't know what to expect, is they're definitely more solid feeling than I was expecting, and maybe a little bit closer to like Ping i530 and Ping i230, and I was maybe expecting a little bit of a softer feel off the face. Now I am using Pro V1, I normally game a slightly softer golf ball, so maybe that is something to consider, but I did hit my own Mizuno shortly before I started filming, and it definitely felt a little bit softer off the face in my opinion, but that's maybe the only thing that was a little bit surprising to me. But if you like Srixon irons, you like the feel of them, or you like that sort of feel that I've just commented on, you'll love these. They are really, really good. Hit that one as like a little 2-yard push fade. So I expect the yardage to be a little bit lower there, but the ball flight again was outstanding. Yeah, exactly like you would expect there. 150 yard of carry because I hit that little push. Spin rates jumps up because I've hit that little push cut again, but just look at that ball flight, it's unbelievable. If you need to get the ball in the air, these are definitely some of the highest launching and highest peak irons I've ever tested. It's such a high loopy ball flight. That was coming at 50 degrees of land angle. That's mind blowing in terms of numbers. You're just gonna be able to hold this on any green at any time of the year as a handicap golfer, and that's what you need. You want distance, but you also want control. Just a nice push a couple of yards to the left. I'm getting some confidence with them because my club head speed of 82, that's as fast as my club head speed gets. 156 yards of carry on a slight push to the left-hand side, like that's normally a rocket shot for me. Spinning at 5,000, which is great. Again, just look at those launch peak heights and land angles. That's another one, dead straight. Really, really nice. Again, you know, my natural tendency, catching it a little bit on the thin side, still spinning at 4,700, still getting out there to 90 feet. I think we're nearly there. I'm gonna hit one more. That's the best one yet. What a golf shot that is. It just felt like it was a little bit of a better quality of strike. It's on the line as well. I think it's gonna be great. Yeah. It's a little bit out the heel, which is even more impressive because of the fact that the quality of strike felt so good, but it's a beautiful one to finish on in terms of showing what this iron's all about. 111 of ball speed, carrying at 159.3 with that outstanding ball flight too. So I definitely think there's some component parts here that will help so many mid to high handicap golfers, and I think it's a stunning looking iron as well. But let's switch over to the ZXi4. Right, first shot with the ZXi4. Geez, that might be the highest golf shot I've ever hit with a 7-iron. It's so high. Wow, I've absolutely buttoned it out the middle, first one out of the gate. 110 of ball speed, 161 of carry is huge. Look at that ball flight though, 23 degrees of launch, 100 feet of peak height. Like I say, a game improvement iron, when I get to 80, it's good. Land angle of 48 degrees. The only thing maybe there, 4,001 of spin. That's, you know, that lower spin rate that you get out of a game improvement iron that allows you to get the extra bit of distance. But with a ball flight like that, you're going to still be able to stop it quickly. That's very impressive. Another one that's just gone into orbit. Honestly, both these Srixon irons, if you need to hit the ball higher, game these. They go so high, especially in my hands. That's incredibly quick. 113 of ball speed, 164 of carry. With that spin rate and those ball flight conditions for a game improvement iron, that's a great package. I like these Srixon irons. I really do. Both sets of them are great. Oh my God, that's just like one of the best iron shots I've hit in weeks. That's like a baby draw onto the target. It's absolutely huge. 165 of carry with a 7-iron. Yes, it's 28.5 degrees, but it goes 108 feet in the air. It goes 108 feet in the air. It's 20 to 30 feet higher than what I'm used to seeing. It's landing at 50 degrees with 4.4 of spin. These are really, really good. Really good. 113.6 of ball speed. Outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Ridiculous. That felt awesome, by the way. That's the best feeling shot I've hit so far. I'm hoping it's middle because it felt good. Oh my God. It's a tiny bit out the heel. I've hit it at 168. I think I want a set. I think I just want to buy a set of these. Now, admittedly, I'm hitting it the best I've hit it for a while, which is helpful, but 110 of ball flight, 168 of carry, spinning at 4.3, sorry, landing at 50 degrees. It's such a great iron, it really is. The one thing I would say is, now I've not been hitting it great lately, which has made filming quite tough, but it's the most enjoyable hitting a golf club I've had for weeks with an iron. They're just really, really good, really nice. It's another one. It's just becoming effortless. It really is becoming effortless. It's just a lovely straight shot down there. 163, like, it's becoming a joke. I'm a 154 yard carry 7-iron, albeit a couple of degrees weaker, but I don't hit it that high, I don't hit it with any more spin, and it doesn't land any steeper. So I'm basically getting all the benefits of the extra yardage and a better ball flight. They're really good, really good. One thing I would say, and I've said this before on the channel, KBS Tourlight shaft, probably my favorite shaft in irons. Every time I pick it up and put it in a golf club, it just feels great, and it's doing that again tonight for me. That's probably the worst one I've hit in a while. I've really have actually started that down the right and drew it from there, so it'll be interesting to see. I think it's going to be long because of the nature of the pull. Oh my god. Ching. 170 yards. Like, again, the reason for that is the spin's dropped off right. Don't be fooled by the distance there. I don't want to hit a 170 yard 7-iron if it's only got 4,000 revs of spin. But if it goes at 103 feet and that's the pull that you worry is going to get away from you, it's still going to stop reasonably quickly with that flight. These are really good. These are really good. Now, the interesting thing with both sets while I'm here in the bay is they're both delivering a really strong ball flight. They're both feeling like they deliver a similar level of forgiveness in the 7-iron. We get a little bit more distance out of the ZXi4, which is what you're just seeing right there. We get a touch more spin out of the ZXi5, and that's why the distance comes in a little bit, but that's the difference. And probably here is where I, as the tester, as the mid-handicapper, I'm right on that cusp. And if I was combo setting a set of these, it might be that I play this in my 6 and my 5-iron, and the 7-iron would be the point where I potentially cross over and go to the 5 to have that little bit more control, because they just blend so nicely as well in terms of their looks. Both really, really impressive, but let's go home and dissect all the data from both batches of shots just to see if those feels we're having in the bay and what I think about the data is backed up in the numbers. Right, time to dissect all the data from both of those batches of shots. Now, starting on the left-hand side, you'll see that club head speeds were marginally faster with the Srixon ZXi5, but as you can see, the Game Improvement version, the Srixon ZXi4, delivered faster ball speeds and higher smash factors, which is expected due to that stronger loft of 28.5 degrees versus 31 degrees. Just to show you my strike location, you can see it was quite consistent on the day and not having too much of an impact on those speeds, although there was a touch more of a heel bias with the ZXi5, which could have made a marginal bit of difference, but it was quite a centered strike with that perfect weight combination of that KBS Tourlight shaft and that Srixon ZXi4 that meant I delivered some really good shots with it. Spin rates were circa 500 RPM different with the player's distance version, the Srixon ZXi5, as expected, delivering more spin at 4770 RPM versus 4256 RPM with the Srixon ZXi4. It is worth noting that both were high spinning irons in my hands versus competitor irons in their respective categories. Now, moving across to those ball flights, as you saw throughout, they seriously impressed me with both irons, but what might surprise a lot of you is that the stronger lofted Srixon ZXi4 delivered a higher launch by 0.8 degrees, more peak height by 5.5 feet, and a fraction steeper land angle by 0.2 degrees. Whilst my delivery was a touch different with both sets of irons, I think this does debunk the myth slightly about stronger modern lofted irons. With faster ball speeds, less spin and a stronger ball flight, it's no surprise that the Srixon ZXi4 carried 6.2 yards longer on average at 165.3 yards versus 159.1 yards with the ZXi5. However, where the ZXi5 comes into its own is control and stopping power, with only 9 yards of rollout versus 11.9 yards with the ZXi4. What I would say is that TrackMan always exaggerates rollout, but I can compare this to other videos that I filmed, and both irons do stop incredibly quickly versus their competitors, and I think the Srixon ZXi5 might be the iron delivering the most control in all of my years of testing clubs on this channel. As always, just like to finish up by showing you my shot dispersion. I was surprised at how incredibly similar this was across the two batches of shots, very similar front to back, left to right with both irons. So it's probably no surprise that I love both of these irons. As a naturally low spin, low ball flight player, they give me everything that I need and so many other average golfers need when I speak to them in the community and in the comment section down below. We get that really high towering ball flight that so many of us want to see. We still get good spin rates to deliver that control and that stopping power, and we also get some really strong distances from both of these irons as well, and a good level of forgiveness. So which type of golfer should play each model? Well, if you're a slightly higher handicap golfer than me, I definitely think you'll lean towards the ZXi4. You do get all the benefits of a game improvement iron, but that towering ball flight is something I'm not used to seeing in a lot of game improvement irons, and that does give you a little bit more control. And for that reason, I don't think even if your handicap comes down, you'll be in a rush to get rid of these irons out of your bag. Equally, golfers of a handicap similar to me, I play off 11 or slightly better, you're definitely going to lean towards that ZXi5, particularly because you've got the option to combo set it with the 7 or the 4, depending on where you need the help as well. You'll get that amazing amount of control that we spoke about in the data set, you'll get some really traditional looks, and you'll get that little bit of help where you need it at the right point in your bag, including that little bit of forgiveness as well. But overall, I do think both these irons are some of the best that I've ever tested. It's taken me 2.5 to 3 years to get my hands on some left-handed Srixon clubs, and boy was it worth the wait. Now, if you've got some value out of this video and you'd like to return the favour, it's as simple as hitting that thumbs up button. That lets YouTube know that golfers just like you may be also interested in watching this video. And if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, hi, I'm Luke, the Weekend Tour Pro. There's a button on screen right now. If you press that button and ring the bell icon, you'll get notified of all my videos as they land on YouTube every single week. Equally, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section down below what you think to these irons and where you're watching my channel from. I recently had a message from Torbjorn who tells me that he's watching my videos with his son Vetle in Norway, and that really made me feel warm and fuzzy inside. So let me know where you're watching, because it always amazes me when people are watching my videos from the other side of the world. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Goodbye.